Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the IELTS Reading Power Hour. This is a new class. We've never done this before. So we're basically going to give you guys time to complete an IELTS reading passage and then talk about the answers together. How does that sound, everybody? Does that sound like something you're interested in doing? Cool. So real quickly, let's do a quick background about IELTS. IELTS is similar to TOEFL, but it's not exactly the same thing. TOEFL tends to test other skills, sentence function, organization, inference, adding a new sentence, rephrasing, summarizing. What does the IELTS mainly test? What is its main thing? It's vocab. Now, they don't actually ask vocabulary questions. That's kind of the irony. The TOEFL does ask vocab questions, but the TOEFL doesn't actually test vocab as much as the IELTS. The reason why IELTS is a vocab test is because every single question, they have some information in the passage, they have some information in the question or the answer, and then it's just synonyms. You know, the passage might say hungry, the question will say starving. So it's really just the ability to find synonyms. That's just kind of how the IELTS works. The IELTS also has a lot more task variety. The TOEFL is much more predictable. IELTS will sometimes have you guys labeling diagrams. It will sometimes have you completing a map. It'll sometimes have you, putting a heading to each paragraph. It'll sometimes having you writing something, sometimes choosing A, B, C, D, E. So there's a little bit more task variety in the IELTS. And then finally, which one is more academic? Would you say the IELTS or the TOEFL? Yeah, I would say the TOEFL is more academic. Yeah, the IELTS is a little bit more casual. I'm not saying it's 100% casual, but it is a little bit more casual. So, does everyone have a pencil and paper so they can write down their answers? If you don't have any pencil and paper, please go get some. Okay, can everybody see the timer? Okay, so what we do here is going to be a little bit artificial. We're going to be looking at a IELTS passage. You're probably going to have to take a picture of the passage so that you can use that picture to answer the questions. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So here's the first part of the passage. I'm not going to have you guys read this in detail. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes and make sure you get a copy of it on your phone so that you can reference that when you answer the questions. Okay, 2 minutes, everybody. Okay, same thing, everybody. Remember, we're not really reading these in super detail, so don't freak out if you didn't read everything. We're just trying to give you guys an opportunity to get the lay of the land and at the same time give you something to reference when you answer the questions. Okay, 2 minutes again. Okay, everybody, so this is our first activity. So what you have to do is you have to indicate whether these sentences are true, false, or not given. If it's true, that means you have specific evidence in the passage that verifies it. If it's false, you have specific evidence in the passage that contradicts it, basically says the opposite. And then finally, not given doesn't really mean it's true or false, it just means you have no evidence. So for this one, this activity, I'm going to give you guys 7 minutes, which is a minute per question. Good luck. Okay, so for activity number 2, I'm going to give you guys 6 minutes. You have to write your answers no more than 2 words. Good luck. Looks like some people need to see the passage. Hold on. Okay, everyone, quickly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, back to it. Okay, we have a question from Clara. Hey, Clara, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Greg. I just want to volunteer.
Oh, you want to volunteer? Sure. Okay. Can you get a little closer to your microphone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, everybody. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. So go ahead, Clara. Can you read number one?
Okay, number one. Michael Faraday was the first person to recognize Perkins' ability as a student of chemistry. I think this question would be false
Okay, so let's
because,
go. So who are we talking
yeah,
about? We're talking about Michael Faraday. Okay. So where does it talk about Faraday?
in the first paragraph,
I think it's the second
yeah,
one, right?
the second one.
Okay. And then the sentence specifically talked about being the first one, right? The first one who recognized him. Do you see anything that he was the first one, or do you see anything that he was not the first one?
He's actually not the first. Um,
You there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Um, so I don't think the passage gave any information about the first one.
Okay. And
He's
what is
in
your
the first one.
evidence?
Um, like he was that's just the one that encouraged him to attend a series of lectures.
Sure. And if
Yeah.
we're going to put false, that means that we have to have evidence that somebody else was first, or at least that he wasn't first. Do we have evidence that somebody came before him who kind of recognized his talent? What do you think? Because remember, if we're going to put false, we have to have evidence in the passage that says something specifically that, this Michael Faraday guy was definitely not first. Do we have any evidence for that, Clara?
Yes. So
Who was before Michael Faraday? Was there
yeah,
another guy?
yeah, Thomas Hall.
Yeah, Thomas Hall. So we actually have evidence who, Thomas Hall perceived his talent and devotion when he was a child. So obviously that was before Michael Faraday. So the correct answer here is going to be false. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, could I have a volunteer for number two? Let's go to Natalie. Hey, Natalie, number two.
Hi. Michael Faraday suggested Perkins should enroll in Royal College's chemistry. I put false
Okay, why?
because it was he was in he later went on to attend Royal College, which succeeded, but he was well, those speeches fired the young chemist enthusiasm for that. Oh, maybe it is. It is
Well, let's
true.
let's just try to be very strict here.
Okay.
Did Michael Faraday suggest to
No.
William Henry Perkin, hey, you should go to the Royal College of Chemistry?
No.
Where does it say he did not do that?
It did not say that. That is why I said
Right.
no.
So that's why you should be saying, I don't know.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So would that be like not given?
Correct. Yeah, it would be
Okay.
not given, right? So to be honest, do we know the answer to this question? Do we know if Michael Faraday did this or did not do this?
No, we don't.
We don't. So that's why we have to put not given. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, if you look at the first one, do we know that Michael Faraday was not the first person?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do know that because Thomas Hall was before Michael Faraday. But if you look at the second one, we actually don't know if Michael Faraday did this or did not do this. So that's why we put not given. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to Murat. Hey, Murat, how's it going?
Hi, Greg.
Hey, can you read number three?
Yes, Perkin employed August Wilhelm Hoffman as his assistant.
Okay, and what
I
did you
think
think
it's-
about this one?
I think it's false
Okay, why?
because I think it's the other way around. He became Hoffman's youngest assistant.
Yeah, if you actually look at the evidence here, doesn't it say that August Wilhelm Hoffman was the leader? See the word headed? Doesn't that
Yes.
mean that they're the leader? So if he's the leader, can he be the assistant?
No.
No. Yeah. And you also have this one. He became Hoffman's youngest assistant. So yeah, it's obviously the other way around. False. Okay. Good job. Let's go to Sakshi. Hey, Sakshi, number 4.
Hello.
Hey.
So, Perkin was still young when he made the discovery that made him rich and famous.
Okay, so let's go to here. Was he still young when he made the discovery that made him rich and famous?
Yes,
How do you know that?
because in the second para, he had entered the college at the age of 15, and there is just 3 years of difference when he, and during his vacation, made the discovery.
Yeah, and not only that, it says, 2 years later, he became Hoffman's youngest assistant, right?
Correct.
And then
Correct.
it says not long after that. So not long after that, is he still young or not young?
Still young.
Yeah, he's still young. Yeah, so good job.
Yeah.
So the correct answer here is going to be true. Good job, Sakshi. All right. Let's go
Thanks.
to Pranav. Hey, Pranav, number 5.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Nick. Yeah. The trees from which quinine is derived grow only in South America. That it would be true.
So let's first of all go, where does it talk about South America? See if we can find that.
Yeah, on the
Right here,
second
right?
sentence.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And we have to find evidence whether these trees grow only in South America. So you said it's true, right?
Yes.
Okay, what is your evidence that they grow only in South America?
I think I read the native to South America as only to South America.
Okay, so let's take a look. The drug is derived from the bark native to South America. So it is true that it comes from South America, but take, for example, the tomato. The tomato plant comes from, the Americas as well, but now it grows in, Europe and Italy and stuff like that. So just because a plant is native to somewhere, does that mean it cannot be grown somewhere else?
No, that is not the case.
Right,
Can be grown.
but this sentence says only. So
Right.
what do we think here? Do we actually know if this is only grown in South America, or we don't know?
We don't know.
Yeah, I would say the better way to approach this one is we don't know. Yeah. So the correct answer is not given. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Good job. Let's go to Marat. Hey, Marat, number 6.
Number 6, I think it's true, Greg.
Okay, go ahead and read it for us.
Perkin hoped to manufacture a drug from a coal tar waste product.
Okay, so let's go here. Show me the evidence that he did want to manufacture a drug from a coal tar waste product.
So it's the last column on the right.
Okay, I'm looking.
In the third line, it says he was attempting to manufacture quinine from aniline. The attempt to manufacture, to me, says he was trying to produce something from the available coal tar waste product.
Yep, I agree with you. So he was attempting to manufacture, and this one means hope to, attempting to, kind of the same thing, right? Kind of the same thing.
Yes.
So the correct answer is true. Good job. And then finally, let's go to the last one. Let's go to Natalie, number 7.
Okay, Perkin was inspired by the discoveries of that famous scientist Louis Pasteur.
Okay, so where does it talk about Louis Pasteur? It looks like right here. Okay, so was he inspired, not inspired, or we don't know?
We don't know because it just proves the truth of his like the famous saying, but doesn't mean that Perkins is inspired by him.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that Perkins was like having a poster of Louis Pasteur on the wall, right? To be honest, we just don't know.
Yeah.
So the correct answer is not given. Good job, Natalie. Okay. All right, before we move on to the next activity, does anyone have any questions about any of these? All right, we have a question from Anurakt. Hey, Anurakt, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, hi. Actually, I have a question. Question number 4. Like, Perkin was still young when he made the discovery that made him rich and famous.
Yeah.
So my answer was not given, but you said it is true, and I'm not able to understand how is it.
Good question. Good question. So, I agree with you that this is a little bit subjective. I do agree with you. But let's look at the timeline. 15. Would you say 15 is young?
Yes, 15 is young.
They even identify it as young, right? Right here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's keep reading. Then it also says within 2 years he became his youngest assistant. Right there. And not long after that he did this that would bring him fame and fortune. Let's see if we can find any other evidence. Perkin, boy, but it was chance that that solidified as a student. Perkin became immersed and he was talented.
But it is written like breakthrough that would bring him both fame and fortune.
Yeah,
And the question is like,
but when he actually made the breakthrough, he was young, right?
that, but like that made him rich and famous.
Yeah, I think Natalie has additional evidence. Did you find additional evidence, Natalie?
Yeah, the second page, like the last paragraph.
The last paragraph.
All the Perkins' fame was achieved and fortune assured by his first discovery.
Yeah, and then first, of course, happened when he was younger, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's additional evidence right there. That actually brings up an interesting point, everybody. Another thing that makes IELTS kind of easy is, have you guys noticed that these go in order? Did you guys notice that? Like this was paragraph 1 or 2, this was paragraph 1 or 2, this is paragraph 2, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 3, paragraph 3. So that's another good thing about the IELTS is you don't really have to read these in as much detail as you think, because in many cases the answers just go in order. I don't want to say always. Always is kind of a dangerous word, Murat, but I would say most of the time, most IELTS activities go in order. Okay. Any more questions about this? All right, let's go to the next activity. Can I have a volunteer for number 8? All right, let's go to Natalie. Go ahead and read the question, Natalie.
How come I'm the only volunteer today?
You're not.
Okay.
We had Murat, we had Anurag, we had other people.
Okay, all right. Before Perkins' discovery, with what group in society was the color purple associated?
Now, before we answer this, number 1, how many words can we write?
No more than 2 words.
So 1 word is okay, 2 words is okay, 3 words is not okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I always try to think about what kind of answer they're looking for before we look for it. What kind of answer do we need to write here?
Like hierarchy of the society, I guess.
No.
Like
What kind of answer?
A group of people.
Yes, exactly. We need to write down a group of people. If we're not writing down a group of people, it's going to be wrong, right? It doesn't matter even if it's near the answer. If we don't write down a group of people, it's going to be wrong, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now let's find the evidence. Where do they talk about purple?
Yeah, the first paragraph.
Yeah, right here. So purple.
Yeah.
What group of people liked purple?
Rich people.
Yeah, the rich. Now, can you write down rich people, or do you have to copy exactly?
I'll probably copy exactly.
Right, and the passage said the rich right there. So everyone, don't write down rich people because you'll get the wrong answer, because remember, they're telling you to copy it specifically from the passage. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, good job, Natalie. Okay, can I have a new volunteer, Murat? Hey, Murat.
Hi, Greg.
Okay, so go ahead and read number 9 for us.
About number 8 before we proceed.
Oh,
Is that
sure.
okay?
Go ahead.
Even though I wrote the rich as my answer, I don't understand why rich people would be considered wrong.
Good question. It's because the passage does not use the word people. And if the passage doesn't use the word people, we're adding in our own information, and sometimes they'll mark that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, number 9.
What potential did Perkin immediately understand that his new die had?
So what kind of answer do we need to write down here? Like, can you rephrase this question? What are they asking us?
What was the most important thing about his new die?
Does it say most important thing?
No, it doesn't.
No. So remember, be careful. We don't want to answer the wrong question. They're asking about what potential did it have? And doesn't that mean like what benefit it could have? You know, what possibility it could have? Isn't that what potential means?
Yes.
So you're trying to write down something that was possible or something that was, you know, maybe beneficial about the new die. Okay, so let's go to the passage. Can you find it?
Okay, so this means I got the answer wrong because I misread the question.
Okay.
Now I have to look for a benefit, right?
We have to look for a benefit or a possibility. And remember, let me give you a clue. Remember, the IELTS is just a vocab test. Do you see the word immediately understand?
Yes.
See that right there? Check this out. Right here. Do you see instant recognition?
Yes.
Isn't that a synonym of immediately understand?
Yes, I actually had looked at quickly grasped and thought that
Yep, quickly
was
grasp
synonym.
works as well, but the problem with that is it doesn't have the word for potential. But isn't possibility a synonym of potential?
Yes, Greg.
So what does that mean the answer is?
Commercial possibility.
Yep, there you go. So the correct answer to this one is commercial. Does that make sense? What did you write down?
First synthetic dye, but I knew I had more than 2 words, so I was curious what the answer was.
Okay, so do you understand when I say the IELTS is just a big vocab test? Do you understand what I mean by this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, cool. Good job. Thank you, Murat. All right, let's go to Anakul. Hey, Anakul.
Hey, Greg.
All right.
So,
question,
answering
or
the
do you
10th
want to volunteer?
I want to volunteer
Okay.
for
No.
10th,
Yep.
but
go
I
ahead.
also have a question for
Oh,
9th.
sure. Go ahead.
Could the answer of 9th be fabric coloring?
No, it can't. No, yeah. So you know, IELTS is very strict about this. So you remember, you're. That's why I said it's just a big vocab test. It's just a big vocab test. Commercial possibilities. If you wrote down commercial possibilities, that's okay, Ayushi. That's okay. No problem at all. And then for the previous one, if you only wrote down the word rich, that's okay as well. However, if you were to write down, what did you say, Anakul? What were you saying?
Fabric coloring.
Yeah, that would definitely be wrong. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, be careful, Ayushi. Does it say commercial possibility or commercial possibilities? Be careful, Ayushi. Yeah, so remember, you were copying exactly from the passage. Don't change anything. Okay, go ahead, Anakul. Read number 10.
What was the name finally used to refer to the first color Perkin invented?
Now,
Mauve.
obviously, the answer has to be a name, right?
Yeah.
But also, I want you to notice some of these words. Finally used and the first color. Okay, so let's go to the passage. Can you find me the evidence?
Yeah. So in the third passage,
Right.
Perkin originally named his dye Tyrian purple, but it later became commonly known as mauve.
Exactly. And of course, the word later matches with the word finally,
Finally.
right? So the correct answer is mauve or mauve or something. Is it important that we understand that?
No.
No, it is not. So what this question is really asking us, oops, wrong one. What this question is really asking us is, do we know that finally and later are kind of like synonyms? Isn't that what this is really asking us? Finally and later? Yeah. So like I said, the IELTS is a little bit easier than you think it is. It's a little bit easier than you think it is. All right, let's go to Pranav. Hey, Pranav, you want to do number 11?
Hi. Yes, I wanted to do the 11.
Sure. Go ahead and read it for us.
Sure. What was the name of the person Perkin consulted before setting up his own dye works?
So obviously we're looking for the name of a person, but we have some other key words here. Consulted. What does consulted mean?
Seeked help from?
Yep.
Or...
Yeah, to get advice. Good job. And then obviously before setting up, right? Okay. So here we go. So can you find me the evidence? Where does it say asking for advice?
In the immediate next sentence from the last, the second one, after the where it reads, he asked advice of Scottish dye works owner Robert Bueller.
Yep, exactly. So again, this question here is really just asking you, do you know that consult equals get advice? I mean, isn't that the real question here? That's the real question. They're not asking you, like, who is Robert Poehler? They're not asking you anything like that. They're really just saying, do you know what consult means? So like I said, I'll say it again, IELTS is just a giant vocab test. So the correct answer here is Robert Poehler. Make sure I'm spelling his name right. Okay, let's go to Shreya. Hey Shreya, you want to volunteer?
Yep.
All right, number 12.
So, yeah. In what country did Perkins' newly invented color first became fashionable?
Okay, so what is obviously the correct answer here is a country, right? But what word do you think they would change? Like what synonym word?
I didn't get your question. What?
Do you remember the question number 11? They changed the word consulted. They changed the word consulted to get advice. And number 12, what word do you think they would change in the passage?
Fashionable?
Yeah, I agree. Fashionable. And what does fashionable mean?
Trendy.
Trendy, popular, common, something like that, right? So let's go to the evidence. Can you find me any evidence?
Yep. In the fourth paragraph, it says the company received a commercial boost from the Empress Eugenie of France when she decided the new color flattered her. Very soon, mauve was the necessary shade for all the fashionable ladies in that country.
Good job. Now, sometimes IELTS will throw you a bone. Do you know what I mean by that, Shreya? Throw you a bone?
Yeah.
It means give you an easy one, right?
Yeah.
So this case, it's an easy one because they're actually reusing the word fashionable. And whenever they reuse the word, it becomes even easier. So good job, Shreya. So the correct answer here is going to be France, also pronounced as France. All right, number 13, last volunteer. Any new people want to give it a shot? Any new people? If not, I'll take somebody who's not new. That's okay. All right, we'll go to Manoush. Hey, Manoush.
Sorry, I didn't have a chance to read the passage, but let's
You
try.
didn't read? Okay, you did. Okay, so go ahead and read
I was
13.
watching something very important, so
Go ahead and read 13.
according to the passage, which disease is now being targeted by researchers using synthetic dyes?
Now,
So,
the answer has to be what? It has to be some kind of
a disease name.
disease. But let's look at the question. What words do you think they would change?
Well, now is a keyword.
Okay, now is a keyword. Okay. So like current, maybe they'll say currently, right? Or something like that. What else? What else?
Being targeted
I
would be
agree.
referred.
Yeah, being targeted is probably the key one. What does being targeted mean? If I target something, what does it mean?
It means being targeted, like being pointed.
No, remember, try to use a synonym. Try to use a synonym.
A synonym for target.
Like remember consulted, the synonym was get advice.
Yeah.
Remember that? For fashionable, the synonym was trendy.
And yes.
Targeted would be something like focus on,
yes.
focus on,
Something
emphasize, aim at, something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's go to the passage. Let's see if we can find out which disease is currently being targeted.
Okay, we are going to search for that in the last paragraph,
Probably, right? Because it tends to go in order, right?
Yes, I can see that it is important to note that, but am I in the right spot?
Remember, you're looking for something about now.
Yeah.
And you're looking for something about targeting. So see if you can find that.
Okay, I can see the word research. And just a second.
Take your time.
Okay, thank you.
Remember, you're looking for a synonym of now or a synonym of target. And you're looking at the last paragraph.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Microbes.
Does that mean now? So Saurabh, try not to focus on the answer. Remember, the answer is irrelevant. What you're really trying to find is a synonym of now and a synonym of target. The actual answer is pretty irrelevant. Look at the very last line right here. Do you see a synonym of now?
Current, yes.
Yep, right there. So this is the clue that we're actually in the right place. And then finally, do you see a synonym for target?
Yeah. So
what's the synonym for target?
Vaccine. Isn't it vaccine?
Nope.
Like aim to?
Nope.
But let me see.
Look at the passage. Look at the passage.
Particular praising to parking their
If I target something, what am I doing?
Against, yes. Isn't it against?
Nope.
But the answer is malaria, but...
Yeah, but again, let's not focus on the answer. Let's focus on the process. If you focus on something, are you looking for it or not looking for it?
I am looking for it.
So what is the synonym they're using for target?
Search for.
Search for, right there. So now we know that we have the correct location. And remember, what we're looking for is the disease, right? So what's the disease?
Malaria.
Malaria, right there. So obviously this is, it's easy. You could just immediately go, oh, it's malaria, obviously, right? However, when these questions get a little bit more difficult, you need to rely much more on the process. And the process is they change the vocabulary. They change the vocabulary, not of the answer, but of the question. Now, being targeted, consult, get advice, stuff like that. Okay, thank you, Manoush. We have a question from Albus. Hey, Albus.
Hey, Greg. It's my first time when I'm attending this class for IELTS.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what's better, TOEFL or IELTS. I have a question about the structure of the test. Do we have 2 essays in the IELTS with those kind of questions, or is it a little bit different?
Can you rephrase your question one more time?
Yeah, I'm asking if they have kind of the same type of questions with choosing the words and true and
Yeah. This is what IELTS looks like. Yeah, IELTS definitely will have questions that look like this for sure.
And they always have 2 essays.
Yes, they do. Yes, IELTS always has 2 essays. Correct.
Okay, 2 essays with 13, 14 questions, right?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Oh,
but the essays are separate. That's the writing section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but do you mean passages? The number of passages will be 3 passages.
3 passages. Okay. So how many minutes do we usually have per passage?
20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes per 7 questions, right?
No, 13 questions. Yeah.
Oh, so because okay, I got it. Okay, cool. Thanks.
No worries. Let's go to Clara. Hey, Clara, question?
Yes, I actually have a questions regarding the format of the reading.
Sure.
Like, I took the IELTS before, and I was kind of confused between true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given.
Right.
Like, are they really different?
No, they're the same. They're the same. Yes, no, not given. True, false, not given are the same. But you have to be careful because if it's yes, no, not given, and you write down true instead of yes, you'll get the wrong answer.
Yeah, because the question sometimes true, false, not given, it would say from the passage, and yes, no, not given, they would say the claims of the author or the opinion of the writer or something like that.
I mean, if you talk to an IELTS person, they might say that they're a little bit different, but in my opinion, they're exactly the same thing.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it is true that the yes, no, not given usually deals more with opinions and kind of, how people feel about it. But honestly, it's the same thing. If you have evidence that supports it, you say true or yes. If you have evidence that goes against it, you say false or no. And if you just don't know, you say not given.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yep. All right, guys, if there are no more questions, I hope you enjoyed that. Are there any more questions? So remember my thesis, my main hypothesis. The IELTS is just a big vocab test. Really, that's what it is. What word did the passage use for now? Do you guys remember? It used the word current. What word did they use for target? Search. What word did they use for consult? They used the word advice. What word did they use for finally? They used the word later. So as you can see, it's just a big vocab test. The better you are at playing this vocab test, the better you will do. All right, guys, enjoy today. I'm going to go relax. Have a wonderful day.